hello, hello, hello. It's Friday, baby. My name is Lady T. I am the host, and I'm here with Mr. Know-It-All. How you doing, Mr. Know-It-All?
Well, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. Looking forward to having a good conversation about the end of the year. Can you believe we are here?
Well, it is the last Friday of 2022. I cannot believe we're here already, and I kind of want to go over a lot of the year in events of things that have happened so that we can review and discuss them. I also understand that you want to be called by Willis and now no longer Mr. Know-It-All. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. I really do appreciate that. You know, when we started the podcast and we had a lot of a lot of fun, just talking and we kind of wanted to keep a little bit of I guess our real selves in the background so we could really kind of focus on what was going on and things of that nature. But for me to have a real conversation, I gotta be me. So, and everyone knows who I am already. So, Willis Wilson is gonna be my name, is my name, and I appreciate if you go and call me by that. Mr. Know It All was kind of like a little kind of fun tag that Star on the Go gave me, and I guess it was because I always like would have an answer to something, but we all know that no one knows it all, and the smartest person in the room is always the person you don't want to be because you always want to be learning. So I want to be that guy that walks into a room of really brilliant people, and I'm always learning from them. So hey, just Willis Wilson here.
That's wonderful. And you mentioned Star on the Go, and I do want to put in a little disclaimer. Unfortunately, Star on the Go is not with us this evening, and she's had a number of other commitments.
Yeah.
We hope that she can join us again soon. She's welcome anytime to come in and sit in because she is also one of our hosts, but her other commitments have prevented her from joining us. And as you wanted to be called Willis, I guess they can call me Tracy. But my thing is, I also like Lady T.
Lady T,
So
that's
Lady
right for
T
me.
or Tracy is okay with me.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on that. But a shout out to Star on the Go. We miss you. And
Yeah.
as soon as you are able to come back, if you are able to come back, you are welcome. Because as we know, you are on the go. But we'll miss you on this podcast and any ones that you're not able to join in.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna miss her, and she always brought some really great viewpoints, and so maybe we'll be lucky that she'll send some our way again. That
and be
sounds great.
back.
Yeah,
So it is going to be a new year. Are you excited for the new year?
yeah, I am. 2023 is upon us. It's been a really interesting year. It feels like we're on a path. We're moving forward, which is really great because,
Right.
as everyone knows, we've been since 2020. We have been moving. Well, at one point we weren't moving at all, and
Yeah.
then 2021 we got a little traction. 2022, I believe we got a lot more traction. I know personally that I was out and about more and was able to do some things, still being very cautious, but able to do a lot more. But not everything I would love to do and be partake in.
Yeah, and that kind of hits upon some of the big events of 2022 because COVID being pulled back a little bit was a major thing because we're all trying to get back out. That was one of the top stories. So if you remember, like in 2020, obviously everyone was isolated and indoors. And each year or each 6 months or so, we try to come out after the vaccines and after all of the mask mandates. We try to make sure that we're actually trying to get back to some type of normalcy. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about COVID? Are you still wearing your mask? Because I know that I am at certain times.
Well, what's really interesting about COVID is that during last year, especially after the spring, I think people were looking to see, generally when spring of 22 came in, people were looking and comparing it with spring of 2021, and they wanted to see if it was going to be this big, gigantic hit like it was in 21. And this year, it was a little milder. Still a lot of people dying, still a lot of people getting sick, but people started to relax because the numbers weren't as aggressive. And I think because a lot of people have been vaccinated, as well as just moving in a direction of just not having as much infections. And the hospitals did not get overwhelmed. So that was really a positive step in the right direction, especially in spring of 22. So it was really great. I was able to go to some concerts, first
Nice.
time. I took a cruise for the first time since 2020 or 2018.
2019, I believe.
2019,
So
right?
how
Yeah.
are you feeling about that now? I mean, are you ready to still go on a cruise? Do you think the numbers are upticking again, or are they actually still slowing down? Because I've been hearing mixed reactions on that.
Yeah, there is very mixed reactions and mixed things going on. Well, if we look at last year at this time, 2021, around this time, the numbers were in the hundreds and 200,000 daily cases. Still, the numbers are, maybe they're reporting them differently. I don't know what the case is, but we're down. I look at the New York Times as a gauge. They have a number that counts every day, and those numbers are around 62,000 to 63,000. Pretty
Hmm.
much half, more than half of what was out there last year. So I'm feeling positive about that. I don't believe people have taken a fourth booster that's out there. Most people have taken at least three boost or three shots. Their first initial shots and then a booster. So I think that's helping. People have moved away from masks during the summer, but now it seems like it's better to, with the flu also out there, and then there's
That's what I was going to ask you.
yeah,
How do you know?
yeah,
A lot of people are getting the flu this time of year, and they're confusing it. Oh, could it be COVID? So it's a little scary. You don't know, but as the COVID moves along, it I guess it's the new cold or the new flu
right,
that's going to be with us for a while, unfortunately. So our bodies actually should become immune to it eventually, with the shots helping. There are people that, like you said, they only took the first booster. There are people that took two or three boosters, especially some of the elderly people that would have to take them because they have a different version of being compromised to the actual COVID. So I think that's all important. And so I know that that was one of the things, but this year has been a big crazy year. I mean, there's a lot of other things that happened, and I think we'll talk about like
yeah, yeah.
ones, for instance.
Yeah, being that it's the end of the year, we should review, like, I think it'd be fun to review like things that caught your eye or attention. And obviously COVID's something that keeps our attention. But I'm feeling positive going into 2023. I
Great.
think by spring probably you'll see, hopefully, things are looking up, but at the same time you never know. So we'll take it from there. But I have something, a couple of different things that we saw that was interesting. Year in review. At the beginning of the year last year was one of a big event, was the Oscars, and that happened on March. So first quarter of the year, and everybody was surprised. There was some really interesting. This was going to be a big chance. There's some really great movies that were out, and people were going for first time awards. And let's see, Summer of Soul. I don't know if people saw that. That was incredible by Questlove. That talked about a concert that was in Harlem in the '60s or '70s that really did not get its due. That was being
It
nominated.
was an excellent. If
Excellent,
anyone hasn't seen it, I
excellent.
definitely recommend it.
Best documentary feature, but also Will
Kudos to
Smith put,
Questlove.
and he won. Will
Amen.
Smith was up for Best Actor, and this was a major moment for this guy. And actually, I saw him in that movie King Richard. I thought he was really great. I thought he really had deserved a nomination and to win, because he did a great job in the movie, produced the movie as well, and it was a good film as well. And but this big surprise was what transpired just before he got to that point, which was the infamous slap.
The slap heard across the
The
world.
slap heard across the world by the person least likely to behave in such a manner. And everybody was shocked. I think I remember watching it, and I was like, did I just see what I saw? And sure enough, that was real.
Well, because I think the person, comedian Chris Rock, is a comedian and he slapped him. At first, when I saw it, I actually thought it was part of a routine and it could not have been real. But I'm sure I'm not the only one. And then
Yeah.
when they played it back, and then when I saw that it was serious, I went, whoa, I don't think I've ever seen that on live TV before. So,
Especially at an Oscars award where you are the top nominee for Best Actor, which he and then he went on to win. But it highlighted a number of things. Number one, it kind of foreshadowed a lot of things that happened later in the year in entertainment, and I'm saying with people in general, we're seeing a high, maybe because of the pandemic and PMB, all levels of people being locked in their homes for like a whole year and change. Uh, just seems to be a general lack of respect amongst people.
I don't know if it's respect or maybe it's anxiety, possibly.
Yeah,
People may have been put in a situation where they're outgoing people and they were enclosed. And
yeah,
so that may have played a little bit on his psyche. And Will Smith proved that he's a human being.
yeah,
I'm not saying his slap was right. I don't agree with that. But he just did a human reaction. I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know where it came from, but it definitely was shocking. And it was something that was notable in 2022.
Well, he recently did an interview with Trevor Noah of The Daily Show, and one of his last shows as he's moving on to other things. And he said, I was just going through a lot that day and through that period, and you never know what people are going through, and you never know when a person could be at the end of their rope or at the end of their ability to be able to control himself. And he says, this is no excuse for what I did, and at no means should you look at it like that. But he just, again, iterated, you never know what people are going through. And I think that's a good thing to take away from it. I was shocked and I was really kind of disappointed in Will Smith because what he does echoes in every corridor for black men in general. And, not all of us got $20 million in the bank or $20 million a movie. So, some of us don't have that type of luxury to slip like what he did. Will Smith had the ability to slip, and he had Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry and another really large star to hold him. Oh, Samuel Jackson, to hold him through that moment. But in reality, I know a lot of people who don't have that kind of support system, and that type of slip can in their career get them in jail or get them killed. And he's on a large stage, so when he does that on a global stage such as that, it makes it tougher for everyone else, especially black males who have to go through it, who don't have that support system. So I was very disappointed in him on that front. But as a human level, I can understand, yeah, you are going through a lot of things. Everybody is. And it can be really, really a tense time. But
And
hey, that's why he gets paid the big bucks, though,
yeah, but on a human level, also, Jada Pinkett Smith, she was supposed to just continually smile and accept the jokes and the ridicules. Being a person that knows that she has an ailment or something that she has to deal with every day, and I can understand her husband, stepping in and
Oh,
saying, "Hey,
absolutely.
enough is enough. Like this is not funny to her. You don't know what goes on in everyone's daily life." And even though it was a crack to get a joke off, I understand, but it wasn't funny to them at that point.
Right.
And so like you said, you never know what someone's going through, and that may have been the one joke that just wasn't tolerable. And at that point, it's obvious it was not. So
Yep.
kudos to
So,
them. Pray for their family and everything, that everything works out well for them
yep.
as well.
Interesting. Next topic I have that's interesting is something that we hadn't heard for years. I haven't heard this same saying in many, many years since I was maybe a young child, and that is the topic of inflation.
Woo.
All of a sudden, inflation is in 2022. It just surged and it kept hitting. But I remember inflation when I was a kid in the 70s. And it was really crazy because there's also the gas embargo that was going on. There were lots of things going on. What I think is different about this whole thing of inflation, everything's costing more, and everyone looks at the costs, and there's a lot of different economic heads that say, well, it's inflation because of this and that. But in most cases, in particular, if you look at certain sectors like gasoline, the inflation wasn't inflation because of lack of supply or the economy being screwed up. In many cases, it was just profit taking or profiteering off of the fact that there's a lot of money in the system generated by the Fed and the government releasing stimulus checks and people being home and their buying patterns changing. So I think a lot of the so-called inflation was caused by companies saying, "Hey, let's take advantage of the fact that people have excess cash, and we're going to use it kind of like a mop and sop it up."
Now, we briefly talked about inflation in a previous podcast earlier.
Yeah,
But like you said, one thing we touched upon is we feel that some of the companies and corporations, especially in gas prices, they thought that too much PPP money or too much stimulus money was going out while people were actually at home and they needed to have this type of support because there were no way they could go out and earn what they would normally earn.
yeah,
So instead of the companies going back to normal, in my opinion, they became greedy, and what they felt they did not collect in that year and a half when everyone was in the house, that all of a sudden now they wanted the money. They
yeah,
wanted it from you. They think that somehow the communities or the people are banking it someplace, and they're like, wait a minute. They pretty much give you the attitude, that's my money and I
yeah,
want it. So instead of buying a tank of gas at a regular price, the gas went up by $2 a gallon.
yeah,
Milk went up by almost $1. Oh, forget about eggs. Eggs is astronomical. And I can't tell you, I go into the supermarket and in 2019, a carton of eggs could have been over $2.50. Now that same carton is $10.
$10.
So I am really in shock, but you need eggs, you need milk. But why are we paying so much now? Why? Why has that happened?
Yeah,
So that's a reflection on a lot of the companies, and it has to stop because people aren't getting new wages to that level, to that astronomical level. Like if you were making a little bit more than you was in 2019 or making more than you were in 2019, it still doesn't equal up to $10 for eggs. It makes no sense.
yeah. So really, there a lot of companies basically were giving themselves bonuses, and you could see that in a lot of industries, specifically in the gasoline or oil sector,
Yeah.
where companies showed out they had excess profits, 10, 15, 30%
Even when
increase.
the prices of oil went down, the gas prices still remained high.
Right,
So it's
right,
supposed to be reflective of each other. When the prices of oil goes up, the gas prices go up. But also when the prices of oil go down, the gas prices are supposed to go down. However, that's not occurring.
right.
So
So this profit-driven inflation doesn't look like it's stopping. It's
yeah,
slowing down a
so
bit,
I don't think
but
so.
they want that money,
Yeah,
and that seems to be the case.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
Another topic that was really hot in 2022, and this happened in later in the third quarter, October of 27th, when Elon Musk purchased Twitter. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. He purchased it for $44 billion, and the date of that date was October 27th, 2022. There was so much controversy about the firing and the unfiring of chief executives and the real money makers that ran Twitter before. And there was so much animosity because people didn't understand all of a sudden why this whole platform was pretty much turned upside down. This was in October, and as of today, I've read that he's actually seeking a new chief executive to run it because people are like not feeling it. It's not feeling it. It's the same company and people love it, but it's just not something that should have been turned around the way it was just because of a purchase. The biggest thing that I remember hearing about, and I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with the check marks. Well, as of yesterday or the 20th, no, not even yesterday,
All the blue
20th,
checks, right? The blue
there
checks.
was the blue check. So now he
Right.
has three checks. I don't know if everyone's
3 checks. Huh?
been
I
up
didn't
to
hear about
date on
that.
that. He has a gold check, and that's for the companies, that status of company.
Yeah.
He has a gray check, and that means government. And then he has the blue check, which is for individuals, whether you're a celebrity or not. So I don't know how the celebrities feel about
Wait,
that
wait,
because
what is the check again? What color?
blue is for individuals who are celebrities or not.
Uh-huh.
So usually if you're a celebrity, you wanted the blue check so that people can't impersonate you and that
And
people
that's eight
know.
dollars too.
I don't know the price. It was $8. I'm not sure of what the new prices are.
Okay.
But I know he changed that. There are now three checks: gold for companies, gray for government, and blue for individuals. And blue doesn't mean like it could be you or I with a blue check if we
Yeah.
pay for it, I guess,
Yeah.
or it could be a celebrity with a blue check. I think they also have to pay for it. But what distinguishes them between a person who's not a celebrity and a celebrity? So
Wow.
that's still going to be a controversy, I think, and I'm not sure how he's going to make out with that.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting about the Twitter thing. That was a major change in freedom of speech because that was like a big thing that Elon Musk was talking about. But as it turns out, when people criticize him or follow him on his jet, he actually freezes their account. There was an interesting thing
He's
that
got the power.
he's got the power. The major actually shareholders, the people that gave him that, because the rule of thumb is OPM, other people's money. So he didn't take that $44 billion out of his pocket. Now, the sad thing is that Tesla and shareholders in Tesla, and I have to say this because this is a public forum, which I am a shareholder in Tesla, we've been having a hard time because people don't like Elon Musk too much, and the more they see of him, the more they dislike him. There was the thing, we talked about this in a previous podcast, where he was booed for 10 minutes straight at a Dave Chappelle concert. But here are the top people who gave him the $44 billion, you said, or $43 billion?
44 billion.
$44 billion. The top shareholders is Prince Alawid bin Talal out of Saudi Arabia, the Qatar Fund from Saudi Arabia, Jack Dorsey, the former owner of Twitter, Sequoia Capital, Vi Capital, Fidelity, our Fidelity, Larry Ellison, Binance, who's had a lot of problems recently with their cryptocurrency. And believe it or not, big loans from Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Mitsubishi, and Mizuho, who's the Barclays out of Japan, Society General, and BNP Paribas. So, yeah, there's a lot of players in that. And, of course, being that Twitter is a public forum to kind of push your agendas, you can bet that all these people are like, hey, I got $44 billion on the line. Let me influence what's being said and thought and, what's being put out there in the public forum. So, yeah.
And that could be why he's looking for a new chief executive so that he could possibly remove himself from as being the face of Twitter right now. Which wouldn't be a bad idea because everyone loves Twitter, but pretty much a lot of people have left Twitter because of this. So let's see how that plays out.
Let's see how it goes. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Another thing we really, I'm not going to speak very heavily on it, but a big thing in 2022 was the war in Ukraine. So I'm praying for all the families and the country, actually. So I'm praying that everything, this war is completed, it's over. And I had to say that President Vladimir Zelensky has really been holding his own. And I call him a badass.
Yeah, he's definitely a badass.
But I just want that. I just pray that it's over. And it's not much to speak on it because a war is a war. And you don't want war. So let's pray that is have almost over and completed and we move on.
Yeah, the thing about that war is that, interesting enough, that war started at the beginning of this year in February of 2022. And looks like it's still going on strong. During the summer, there was some really just incredible, footage, because today everything is so real time that you would see on the news and the battles.
It's ongoing.
Were just going on directly there. So it's really, it is really, really something to see. It's
and
way different than the history. Yeah, and then such really atrocities being committed by the Russian soldiers against some of the Ukrainian people. Just really horrible atrocities.
They're the atrocities against each other and other human beings. So just pray that moves on and is completed as soon as possible. It's not long. It's not any longer than it is right now. But
Now, an interesting thing was last thing I want to say on this issue is that New York Times ran in November a really interesting article that told, and the article is called "The Untold Story of the Russiagate and the Road to the War in Ukraine." So a lot of this, a lot of people speculate, was really started when Trump was running for president back in 2016 or 2017. It started then because Russia has always had this plan to unite Russia back. So Ukraine left the standard Russia a long time ago, in around 2012 or 2011. But he being Putin, wants all of Russia to be united. He does not want Ukraine to be outside of Russia, the former USSR. He does not want the province of the Crimea. He wants that back. He wants Georgia, which is a part of Russia. All these places left Russia when the USSR collapsed, but he wants to unite Russia to bring it back to its glory before he is finished being, I guess, president for life. So this is, when people talk like that, that's it's a prideful thing. And the saying is, pride goeth before the fall, right? So yeah, let's pray for the people in Ukraine.
let's pray for human life.
Human beings, yeah, amen to that. I love that. So
Yeah.
let's leave 2022 on a positive note. What are some real good things that you're feeling good about for 2023?
Wait,
Lady
before
T?
I do that, I
What you
do
got?
want to mention one more thing that hit 2022.
Oh yeah, let
And
me hear.
I'm going to say it. I know we discussed Miss Beyonce
Oh yeah,
in a previous podcast, but her seventh album, Renaissance, is the number one album for 2022, and rightfully so.
yeah,
Just when you
yeah,
thought that Beyonce's music couldn't get much better, well, it did. And that song, when it first came out, "Break My Soul," it was incredible because I think that anyone who heard it couldn't stop but move and dance
yeah,
because it reclaimed the black origins of dance music.
yeah.
And I thank Beyonce for that because we needed that. We really do. And
Love the record.
I pray she
Love the
wins.
record.
Yes, I pray she wins every Grammy on that because it's well deserved. And kudos to her.
Record of the year.
Yes.
The remix is okay. So I got into the very first one, but then the remix came out, and that was just like incredible. And then what's really fun to watch to me is to watch the Cuff It videos done by the fans. You have such a wide, and I think we spoke about this a little bit, but you have a wide range of people who are doing the Cuff It video. And it's just amazing to see people just connect with the music and just like get down in it, man. And, there's one with some little African children. It's very joy. It's joy to watch,
Joyful, yeah.
and just watching the people move, and that's what she wanted when she created this wonderful piece of work. I
Yes,
mean,
she
through
recorded
and
it.
through and
Yeah.
through, you can just go from one side to the other, and it really just touches you in
Yeah.
that way.
They say she recorded it during COVID.
Yeah,
And so that is a great way to use your time because it shows. It shows that she put everything in it. And kudos to Beyonce. Good luck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So you
On a
were
great note.
yeah, you were asking me like, what did you say? Well, I'm like,
So
yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
a
bring
new
in
year.
2023. What's something that you would love to see happen, or you like to push into your own life in
Oh,
2023?
I want to push into my life. I've had some issues with external family this year. It's been kind of difficult. So I want to
As
wish
long as they stay external, it's not bad.
I want to wish for a prayer. I'm praying for them. I'm praying for our family to get back together and to be on a accord. I think a lot of things that happen, but that's for me on a personal note. I'm thankful for my family, my sons, my husband. I'm thankful for that. And that has nothing to do with what my prayer is for my external, because I pray for my sons and my husband every day, as well as
Amen to that.
everyone, and,
Amen to
and
that.
including my external family. So that's my wish. That's my goal. Peace, blessings, and great health. You know, that the health thing is real important for me as well. And so I try to be a little healthier every day, just as we all do.
Yeah.
And so I keep up with that. and a little bit, maybe if I could win lotto. Can I throw that in?
You can throw that in. Throw that in. So I'm on the same level of that. What's important to me is really health is so important. As we get older, let's just say, or better, right? That you want to be able to enjoy your time that you have and be able to really focus on. You got the health is there. You got your spiritual side together. You and God got your thing together. Whoever your God is, if you got a nice conversation going with him or her, or it, whatever you want to call it. But make sure that you have that relationship going because you got to feed that spirit first. And after that spirit, the body will follow. So, after that, make sure, we're eating the right things and we're trying to cut down on
Amen.
eating the bad things, which is not so easy to do. I get it.
Especially during holidays.
Especially during holidays. And then with this whole new reality of we got pathogens out there. We got COVID. We got different versions of it. The, the more prepared you are physically to try to keep yourself in shape,
Yes.
when these things, if they come to you, you have a better chance to survive them and make sure it doesn't impair you. So that's most important. And then for on the front of just hopefully COVID will take more of a backseat so we can come out as human beings in this country, in this world, to go out and live more and do more things and touch and communicate and have good conversation with each other and just expand on that. So those are my positive wishes for 2023, and I'm praying that everyone comes together and be of like mind, and that they see that we have more in common than we have than differences,
Amen.
and that if there's a conflict, if you're willing to sit down and talk to somebody, then there's hope and there's
For
faith.
resolution.
Yeah, because not everybody's going to agree, but you have to agree that if I'm in your life and you're in my life, then it's worth talking about it because you're important to each other. So I pray that people see eye to eye on that one thing to come and sit down at the table and work out their differences and move forward. So for 2023, I think my focus is on two things: faith and love. That's it.
Amen.
Amen.
Nothing wrong with that.
We got any music this week?
We do, but I wanted to
got?
also ask the
I keep
song that plays at midnight on New Year's Eve. Old Lang Syne.
Oh yeah.
Let old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind.
Okay.
So, do you know what that actually means and where it came from?
To me, it means you had a good couple of drinks and you don't remember where you are.
I think I have to really look it up, but it means two friends really just getting back together again after being away and just remembering their memories. So let
nice.
old acquaintance be forgot.
That's
Auld Lang Syne, AuldLangSyne.
nice.
So
That's right in accordance with what you're saying. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna sing that at 12 midnight and move on to
Great.
a brand new year, a great happy new year.
Well, great.
So today's we're gonna pick a song.
Yeah. What do we got?
Ruby Boo Records and Entertainment.
I love that
that
label. I love it. What do they got today?
We're going to select Dance of Life.
Dance of Life.
It is one of
yeah.
my favorites because
Yeah.
it moves, you move. It is a great song. And I
Nice.
think it's a great song for the new year.
Yes.
And I'm wishing you a happy new year, Willis. And I'm wishing everyone who's listening a happy new year.
Happy New Year, Lady T.
That's
I
right.
wish you a happy New Year.
Thank you. I wish everyone a happy new year.
Thank you for listening to us. In 2023, we have a lot more fun things to do. Yes?
Yes, we do.
All right, then.
So we close out in 2022, the final Friday.
Why don't you gonna
Because
tell
why?
them if they got anything they want us to talk about, they can send us an email. You always say
Well,
that.
you could tell them too.
Well, you do it better than me. Go.
Okay. Well, if you guys want to hear anything specific or if you have questions about anything that we've said on any of these podcasts, please feel free to email us at info@itsfridaybaybay.com. And that's It's Friday. The Baybay is BAYBAY.com. And again, it's info at itsfridaybaybay.com. We look forward to your comments, concerns, questions, and just suggestions on what you may want to hear in the future. But we thank you for listening. We're glad you are here for this last Friday in 2022. And we'd like to say Happy New Year because why? It's
It's
Friday,
Friday.
baby!
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, opinions of any agency and or platform. The material and information presented here is for general information and entertainment purposes only. It's Friday, baby. Name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use is not an endorsement or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.